When I started as a clinical director for a small nonprofit ABA clinic, the clinic had one big open space. Every kid had their own table. Some even had brown cubicles. All the toys were locked in a closet to keep the kids from getting distracted or accessing their reinforcers before the staff allowed. Staff would bring a child to the closet, ask them what they wanted to work for. Then they would take them back to their table for discrete trials. It was efficient, it was controlled, and honestly, it was kind of soul sucking. The kids were isolated, they rarely interacted with each other because their schedules never lined up. The staff were bored, the kids were bored, and even though we were reducing some problem behaviors, we were actually creating others. So I asked one simple question. I wonder what would happen if we tried something different. I'm Amelia Delphonse, BCBA for almost a decade and co-founder of Master ABA. We've helped thousands of behavior analysts level up with practical real-world CEUs, and I've helped many turn that knowledge into sellout courses and high-impact resources. If you're a BCBA clinical director or clinic owner looking for a better way to serve your learners, you're in the right place. Because what happened next completely changed the way I think about ABA environments. I didn't make a big announcement. I didn't overhaul the whole clinic. That wouldn't have worked. Not with the staff and definitely not with those kids. I just floated an idea. I said, hey, what if we turned this little back room into a more natural space, like a kindergarten classroom, just for a few kids who are close to transitioning to school? That's it. There was no big policy change, no giant training, just curiosity and one small shift. I got the team involved. I asked them what they thought the room should look like, what routines we might try, what furniture we'd need. It wasn't about creating Pinterest perfection. It was about building something that felt more real, more human. We picked 4 kids who were close to school readiness and gave them a group schedule. We ran circle time. We practiced lining up. We walked to the bathroom together. We packed backpacks and ate snacks at the table. And here's the thing, it worked really fast. The kids engaged, they adapted, and they started helping each other. And the staff were just as excited about their work again. That room became what we called the mountain room, and it laid the foundation for everything that came next. Pretty soon, staff were coming to me saying, hey, I think my learner could really benefit from being in that room. And it wasn't just the kids who were about to transition to school. We started noticing that our learners, even those who weren't quite there yet, were showing signs that they were ready for more group learning experiences, more peer interaction, and more life. So we moved the mountain room into a bigger space. Eventually, we split the main room in half and grouped kids by peer compatibility instead of just who was the same age. We created more group routines, more shared transitions, and more opportunities for natural reinforcement. And that opened the door for something that was even bigger than what I had expected. We started thinking, what if every classroom had a purpose? What if we stopped treating the clinic like one giant therapy room and started treating it like a living, breathing community? That's when we created the ocean room for kids who weren't quite ready for a full school routine, but who had some solid communication and could really thrive in a preschool style setup. These learners were walking in line, taking care of their things, sharing snack tables. We embedded language and social skills and executive functioning into everything we were doing in the classroom, not just at the table, but throughout the day and through play. And the best part was that the environment started doing the teaching for us. But of course, not every learner was ready for that level of group engagement. Some still needed more structure, more one-on-one teaching, and more flexibility. So we carved out another space. We called this one the jungle room. This was for kids in that in-between zone. They weren't ready for a full group schedule, but they were starting to show interest in their peers. A lot of our toilet training happened in this room too, since it had its own bathroom. And the team had the flexibility to do structured teaching when needed, but also incorporated a lot of movement, music, and social play throughout the day. This room was all about balance, keeping the structure tight enough to support growth, but loose enough to respond to the learner's needs in real time. It looked different day to day, and that was the point. We weren't forcing kids into a mold. We were shaping the environment around them. And that led us to our fourth classroom. We called this one the forest room. This was for our youngest learners, the ones who had never been in a structured setting before. Most were non-speaking, not toilet trained, and deeply drawn to sensory play. We didn't start with table work. We didn't even start with much in the way of expectations. We started with curiosity. What made them light up? What sounds made them smile? What textures did they reach for? Circle time was short, full of music and movement, and designed to be as inviting as possible. The goal wasn't compliance. It was comfort, connection, and safety. Because if a child doesn't feel safe, nothing else matters. Watching all of this unfold, from one small idea to 4 intentionally designed classrooms, it completely shifted how I thought about behavior, learning, and what we're really doing in ABA. We're not just reducing problem behaviors. We're not just running programs. We're building environments where kids live, environments that feel more like the real world and less like a lab. And when we do that, when we let the environment become the teacher, something incredible happens. Kids connect more, they generalize faster, they regulate better, and the staff stop feeling like robots running trial after trial and start feeling like professionals again. The work becomes meaningful. This experience taught me that structure and flexibility aren't opposites, they're actually partners. That group learning and individualization don't compete, they complement each other. And that sometimes the best way to change behavior is to change the room. It didn't happen overnight, and it definitely wasn't perfect, but it worked because it was built on trust, curiosity, and collaboration. If this resonates with you, if you've ever looked around your clinic and thought, this could be better, you're not alone. You don't have to know everything, and you don't have to blow it all up. You don't need a huge budget or a brand new building. You just need to start with that one question. I wonder what would happen if. That one question changed everything for us. And if you're asking it now, I'd love for you to bring that curiosity into the dojo, our private community for behavior analysts who are building better together. It's where we swap ideas, share wins and roadblocks, and help each other move beyond the table. Whether you're just getting started or deep in a redesign, you'll find your people there. You'll find me there too. I'm Amelia Delphonse with Master ABA, and I'll see you in the dojo.